Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. Where we are is actually outside Down Cathedral, the burial place, of course, of St Patrick. And I hope to do a wee video there shortly. Just look at the way the cloud is descending on the hills there, isn't that fantastic? Brilliant. But we're going to go in and have a wee look round. And I actually know the girl that works in here from whenever we lived in Ravorna, from our childhood days. We used to play with the family, and her brother Tommy was a good friend of mine when we were kids. And these are actually part of the original cross, the high cross. These stones that you're looking at now. So pretty amazing. It says these three worn granite fragments of St Patrick's cross survive today. This high cross was probably erected in the late 8th or early 9th century, not long after the foundation of the monastery on the hill of Down. And there's a good wee photograph there, isn't it? I like that. And that's Down Cathedral, depicted in 1833 as a ruin prior to its restoration in 1790. So that's excellent. Now you can see the organ. Brilliant. And this here's the baptismal font. That's the wee shop in there. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. And it says there, in the period following St Patrick's death in 461 AD, the hill of Down came to be regarded as his traditional burial place. There are references to early Celtic monasteries on this site from the 6th and 7th century onwards. And under the 12th century reforms of St Malachy, an Augustinian house was established here. And then it says in 1183, John de Courcy, that was the Anglo-Norman knight who built Carrickfergus, and also won the Battle of Downpatrick here in 1177. And it says in 1183, John de Courcy invited Benedictine monks from St Warburg's in Chester to come and establish a monastery here. Chester had been established by monks from Bec in Normandy. And then it says parts of this present building were part of that original monastery. Very good. With the dissolution of the monasteries in the 16th century, the monks left here in 1538 and the building gradually fell into ruin. And then it says in 1609, James I granted a charter to establish a dean and chapter here. And although still a ruined site, bishops were consecrated within the walls. And then goes on, so it's a good wee bit of history there. There's times of conflict. In previous centuries, Downpatrick was a garrison town. Many of the flags and memorials within the cathedral reflect that heritage. They range from a banner from the time of the American War of Independence, and it's Eklund's volunteers to the present day. There are memorials to those who died in the Boer War and both the First and Second World Wars. And a separate plaque commemorates the loss of 4 sons from the same Downpatrick family in the First World War. On the north wall, there is the more recent peace window, remembering those who died in the conflict in this land, on which there is a dove carrying an olive branch and an imagery depicting the Christian longing that people will one day beat their swords into ploughs and study war no longer. And what a day that will be. And that will only happen whenever the Lord Jesus Christ returns to this world to set up his millennial kingdom. So there's some of the flags there then. That's worship and daily life of the cathedral. And you can hear the piano playing. Somebody's practicing. So they are. Well, and that's the volunteers in America. That's the flag for them. Echelon's volunteers, very good. 1778. Brilliant. There you can see the coats of arms.
It's a llama. It's a llama. Yeah. I don't know what llama is. No early evidence for St. Patrick being associated with llamas.
And the window there is actually the life of St. Patrick. It depicts scenes in his life, as you can see.
Well, guys, we've got to go and see outside, but anything else you'd like to add?
You can see some of the coats of arms here as well. So pretty amazing, isn't it? You can see some of the stained glass windows as well. A lot of work has went into those. There's more armor, or coats of arms.
Always a reason in art that I'm very sort of, I don't think about it. Well, listen, thank you so much. We've got to go see now one final thing. Be great.
I don't know what the keys are of. And there you can see the window. And the cross there is actually in the shape of the Lord's body. With inside, as you can see. And there's a wee memorial to the war dead, which is the 5th Battalion Royal Irish Rifles. There you are now. So thank you for joining me on the Church History Trail. And again, if you enjoy the channel, please like and subscribe. God bless.